Bomba-dee-da, 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 bomba-dee-da.
Hey, is there audio? I think there's audio. My computer said there wasn't, but I think we got audio, Matt.
Well, if we got audio, then we've got a podcast. And let me turn on my radio voice for you, those out there.
Happy trails. What's up, everybody? As you can see, we're together.
He messed my hair up. And by hair, I mean that one right there.
Can't mess mine up. I got too much gel in it. We are recording live from the Omni in downtown Dallas today.
Yes.
This is day 2 of Aimnatcon conference, and that stands for Apartment Investing Mastery AIM National Conference.
Yeah.
How about that?
Doesn't that make sense?
Did you know that?
I knew that, but I can never tell anybody what it is when they ask me. So
Right on. So we got eight. Yeah, I know.
So no, I don't know what it is. How about that?
Took me 5 months to figure out how to spell it.
I just paid the money to go to the course. How about that?
And then you learn.
We're always learning.
So lighting's kind of crappy here, but we got light to our back, and anyway, so you're gonna have to just deal with that.
Hey,
in today's,
but we're going live. I think we may do this each day. I don't know. That's what the plan is.
Maybe we'll, shoot out a bunch of these. That's a good thought. I hadn't thought of that.
Yeah. I'm the thinking of the group. I'm the thinker.
I'm the oatmeal eater.
Hey, so day one, pretty exciting. We had
it was good.
A few speakers. Brad obviously spoke. We had, what else we have in there?
Robert Helms.
Robert Helms, yeah, from the Real Estate Guys radio show, which he's always really good. He's entertaining, and
he is super good. And when you say called a radio show, you know what that means?
What is it?
A long time ago it started, because nobody has a radio show.
They're called
now,
the
right?
Radio Guys.
Well, I know, but that's because they started on the radio.
Well, there you go.
And now they have a podcast, of course.
So we're called a podcast guys.
Right. And someday people are going to laugh at this. They're like, podcast. Remember when that was? Remember when that was?
What's a podcast?
It's so weird. So yeah, he was. Robert Helms was there. He, like I said, you should check out his podcast. He's just so smooth and entertaining. He's not as good looking as we are.
No,
so if you're watching,
nowhere near.
But
and then
we had John Chang.
Yeah,
John Chang is the senior VP of Marcus Millichap. And they are the largest real estate broker firm in the United States. And so he talked a lot about the market trends.
Yeah, that was good.
And where he thinks things are going, and that kind of stuff. So that was actually really good. If you could suffer through a bunch of graphs.
Yeah.
And
at one point I had to go to the bathroom. I left for a little bit, but it's a good time.
I think it was planned.
When I see graphs, I don't know. I have to go to the bathroom.
Right.
It happened in dental school too. I don't know. Just graphs come up. I'm like, oh my gosh, my tummy. I gotta go.
Oh man.
And then to cap off the end of the day was Robert Kiyosaki from Rich Dad Poor Dad, and I think that was, we all agreed it was the highlight of the conference. And even though he came out and he wasn't specifically talking about the economy, he wasn't specifically talking about multifamily real estate, he was just talking in general about his thoughts and beliefs on the current situation in the country and things. And I don't know, I was kind of captivated by the old guy. You know, he's how old is he? 76. And he was just up there just letting it go, man. When you're 76 and you kind of have the money that he does, you can say whatever the hell you want. You know what I mean? And no one really cares. They applaud it. So I thought it was awesome.
He was pretty awesome. Of course, he's just the epic.
Yeah.
He's why we're here, basically. I mean, he started this whole.
Yeah, really.
He didn't really start it, but he made it popular with the Rich Dad Poor Dad and Cashflow Quadrant and the cash flow game. I don't know if any of you guys ever played the cash flow game out there, but that's his way of teaching.
I never have.
Well,
I knew about it, but I never.
I have it. I had it at one time. I don't know if I still have it, but
we may have to play it on the Zoom. Like, you guys make a move and we'll roll for you and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. So we're gonna give you some of our takeaways for the day and what we learned. some of the things that were pretty cool. You want to go or?
No, let's just take off and whatever
Well,
you have. I mean,
So the one thing that Robert Helms talked about, and this is one of the first things he said, is that your past is what's done and behind you, right? And so you have two options for it. You can either use your past as a university to teach and learn, and then you can move forward, right? Or you can use your past as a club to beat the shit out of yourself with. What are you guys doing? And what are most people doing? Most people look at their past and regret and think of all the bad decisions, and they beat themselves up with it. And I mean, it's all over the place. But where is that getting you? What's that doing for you? Moving forward, you can't change it, right?
right.
So
It's already happened.
it's already happened. So, the other option is, I think is much better. That one little quote just kind of hit me, and it was, use it as a university.
And the universal reminder that, it's, there's so much out there, and you've got to open your mind and your intake of information and what your perception is. You got to change a little bit. And I know that's challenging for a lot of people, and it's always challenging to change. But if you're not willing to put that change in place, then, you're not going to move the needle. So mindset's a really big deal. And we talk about that. We've talked about it in the past. We've talked about it in dentistry, and you got to have the right mindset for something like this. And I think to get to that mindset, all you have to do is evaluate where you're at right now in your life and evaluate where you're going, and have an idea of what are the financial situations that you're doing currently, and is it going to get you where you want to be? Because that's really how Blaine and I started this, is Brain. That's how Brain and I started this. It was we set out just to teach, the things that we're learning with people out there. So that way, you can just come along the journey with us. Because obviously, if you're watching, and we've met a few people that are definitely watching the podcast and come up and talk to us, and but we're just sharing the information as we learn it. So that's cool.
Right on.
I think a takeaway for me yesterday was just quite simply how one of the main reasons that we get into this multifamily real estate is for the tax purposes. And we've kind of hinted on this in the past episodes. We haven't gotten into great detail. And I think Blaine and I were just talking this morning that I think it's time we ramp this up a little bit. We've been into, all the episodes previously. We've talked about LPs, we talked about GPs, we talked about how to do a deal, what are the people's roles in the deal, and we've analyzed a couple deals. And I think we really need to start throwing at you the things that we have learned in the past and are learning now. And that's just simply that the advantages to getting into multifamily real estate. And every single speaker stood up and said the same thing. They said, the reason that you have the tax advantages is because the tax code was written for people that are going to do things that the government wants you to do. And really, quite simply, that's government wants you to provide housing.
They can't do it themselves.
They can't do it. They need housing. Housing is at a shortage. Apartments are at a shortage. That's why they're building new apartments everywhere. They're building rental houses everywhere. So this really is something that when the government's going to reward you for something, and let's just give you an example of, say, solar or an electric car,
right,
or something.
right.
The government wants you to do those things, so you get a tax break to do those things.
Yep.
Well, there's huge advantages in multifamily real estate to do those things. So that is exactly why we got into this, is to step away from the norm and get the advantages that we can then take the money that we earn and put it in the bank and start to use it for ourselves rather than give it to Uncle Sam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uncle Sam, because Uncle Sam does a really nice job of taking the money and spending it wisely.
And that, and I'll take another Kiyosaki, talking about the 4 quadrants.
Mm-hmm.
Here we are, we're dentists, and
Yep.
a lot of our listeners are actually professionals in dentists, and we pay the highest amounts of tax, and it's got to piss you off at some point, guys. I mean,
right.
I had a meeting, Anna and I had a meeting with our accountants just a few weeks ago, and they gave us the tax projections through 6 months. I about fell out on the damn floor, and I'm pissed. I'm mad, and I'm telling my CPM, like, this is bullshit.
Yeah.
She's like, well, I'm just the messenger. Don't be mad at me. And she says, I want you to look at it different. Look at how much your practice is performing. like if we're spending that much more in tax, think about how much more your tax is doing. And I'm thinking, but I'm giving it all away.
Mm.
This is why we've got to advance ourselves in this multifamily arena. I'm tired of giving away the money. I'm tired of working so damn hard and giving it away. And the statistics that we saw yesterday, 55% of your money,
55 to 60%.
55% of your money going to the government. So you bust your ass to take home 40%. That's crazy, people. Crazy. I don't care how much you make. That's stupid. Like, why? And like, just bring somebody in and just hand them every dollar, you give them half. Just here, I'll take this half, you take this half. You know what I mean? That's what I do with nitrous when patients are nitrous. They get a hit, I get a hit. It's awesome. Kidding.
Yeah,
I don't give them any. It's for me. What's something else?
Well, I was gonna say,
comment on that.
Yeah, I just you know, as business owners, unless you're owning a large company, when you talk about we pay the most taxes, obviously we have to pay tax like all the employees do. But we also pay taxes for our employees. And that's where if you're like, why do you guys pay more? And you guys are crazy. But that's where it comes in, because we're paying taxes for our employees. We're paying Social Security tax and that Medicare and all that stuff.
But we all want to be business owners, right? That's what we're taught. That's what you shoot for. I want to own my own business. I'm gonna do my own thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, take a look at it, people. After looking at it, then take a look at the investors of the world and tell me which one you want to be. I mean, we're looking at people that are coming up on the stage yesterday that are hundreds of millions investing in capital return. They're paying zero taxes. That's right. I said it. Zero taxes. And here we are busting our ass for, $3 million and giving away half of it. It's just ridiculous. So yeah, I'm at that point.
You can tell.
Yeah, I'm at that point, people. And that's why I think we need to start ramping things up, because I'm sure some of you out there are in that same position. So we want to carry you along on our backs, and let's do this the right way so we can all start reaping the reward.
Yeah,
sure.
It starts with good deals, finding the good deals. And oddly enough, listen and wait for this. It starts with building good relationships. You guys ever hear that before? So important. And just talking to people around here this weekend, yesterday, it was just like so important how you just gotta know these people and know how they tick and where they're going and what they're doing and what their philosophy is, and connections in with just all the little everybody that's involved in this deal. You gotta know something.
Hey, you know who's a master at that? This guy right here.
This guy.
No, he says he's not. Let me tell you, if you watch Blaine work a room, it's amazing. People just come up and go, "Are you Blaine?" I'm like, "How the hell these people know Blaine?" And the next one is, Are you Blaine from Iowa?
There's actually two Blaines from Iowa. I hope the other Blaine listens to this podcast. I told him to.
Yeah, maybe you're portraying to be the other Blaine from Iowa. And your response is, "Yes, I am."
Yep.
Yes, I
got it.
But I give Blaine kudos. He does a great job of communicating with people and networking, and it's great to see him do it, because there's probably 650 people in the course yesterday.
Right.
There'll be more today because it's Saturday. And probably over half had never been to a Sumrock event.
That was crazy.
So this is over half of the people are new, wanting to learn. So if you're watching today, the time to get in would have been yesterday, but the time to really start paying attention is right now, because everybody else is coming on board because they see it coming. They know what's happening and with the rates, they know what's happening in the market, and things are about to explode. If it doesn't happen by the end of the year, it'll happen at the beginning of the year. There's going to be a lot. We told you before, there's going to be a lot of deals. There's going to be a lot of crazy stuff going on. So we want to start forming teams.
That's what John Chang talked about. He talked about the market. And he talked about how everything's kind of at a halt because things are so crazy. Nobody could predict anything. Well, I think the interest rates hikes might be maxed out. They may do another quarter point, but nothing crazy like last year. So he's like, things are stabilizing and people are starting the prices are starting to normalize as interest rates go up. You can't afford to pay as much, so the price of these apartment complexes comes down. And people want to sell them, so it's a buyer's market, because people are like, I gotta sell, and the buyers are like, let's go. You need to give me a discount on this, and he said across the board 20% ish. The value of a lot of apartment complexes are 20% below their peak of year and a half ago. That's pretty good, pretty solid. And Brad talked about one of his deals that he was going to sell. He had on the market for 17, and he's got it, and they talked him down to 15. And I think they just got another $1 million off it to go to 14. And so that's 17 million to 14 million. It's a pretty substantial discount when you're buying apartment complexes. So yeah, they're out there, and we're again trying to connect with people, find these deals, and trying to get our own deal together.
But again, that 14 million is probably 4.5 million more than they paid for it.
They probably paid 9 or 10 for it. I think they paid 9.
Yeah, so I mean, it's still, you're still seeing a pretty hefty return, just not as hefty as what you would have liked. But there's still the tax advantages to all that, and the fees that come with it. And again, those are things we're going to talk about. Those are things we haven't talked about in the past, is the fees that come with being one of the general partners on a deal like this.
When you're saying fee, you mean that's not something you pay out. That's a
fee that's paid to you,
paid to us. Yeah,
being the partner,
as a general partner, as we run the deal.
Because somebody's got to
and
somebody's got to carry the boats, right? Who's going to carry the boats? You don't know that?
No, I don't know. Anybody know that? I don't know.
Do you know who's going to carry the boats?
No, what's that from? Is that like
that's
it's a college football team? Is that Minnesota?
No, that's Goggins, man. That's David Goggins.
Oh.
David Goggins is
Goggins.
Goggins is who's going to carry the boats and the logs. Guy's crazy.
He can carry the logs.
Yeah, by himself, pretty much. He's insane.
Okay, what else we got? Anything else you want to talk about here? I mean,
no, I'm trying to think. Robert Helms said something that caught my attention. I'm trying to see if I wrote it down.
the other thing you talked about is basically compressing your time, and again, that's why we're here. He had this little visual of this clamp, and it was kind of squishing this clock, and it was kind of cool visual. But he's like, we can learn all this from a book, and you guys can go out there and read 3,500 books and learn how to do this. But that'll take you 10 or 15 years.
It's a long time.
Do you want to do that? You can if you want.
I don't.
We have decided, hey, you know what? We're going to invest in ourselves. We're gonna compress that time, and we're gonna make this a lot shorter, so we can get where we want a lot faster. And that's why we came to it's one of the reasons we keep coming to these conferences.
Yeah, I think another thing that they all talked about. I think Helms did such a great job of this yesterday. At this event, there are 2 levels that you can get in the door. One of them is to have a platinum ticket where you sit in the first 3 rows. There's a lunch provided every day, and they bring speakers in at lunch that are special for the platinum ticket holders.
Yep.
Everybody that bought a general admission ticket sits behind the 3 rows. They run in there to get the best seat they can, and they have a box lunch provided by Brad, but that's it. Also included in the platinum group is you have a 4th day, which is a bus tour day, more than likely, depending on if they're going to do it in the room or if we're actually going to get on buses and travel, which we've done that in the past too. So we'll see, because they haven't revealed that yet, because it's hot as Hades here in Dallas.
Yeah, it's only 106.
Yeah, but it's a dry heat. No, I'm kidding.
It's not really
dry. It's not really dry.
Not like
a little wet.
Not like Phoenix.
Yeah. So the reason I say that is we got music going.
I don't know if you guys can hear that music. We get music going off and on all the time.
4 seconds in our ear. It's cool though. Makes me.
And I got the sun behind me too.
Yeah, I see that.
Maybe I put it over my head so it'd be like my halo.
Yeah. Watch this. I can make myself disappear. Hey, into the crowd. Hey.
I just have to drink my coffee and I disappear.
Nice. So where was I going with it? What the hell was I saying? The disappearing act got me.
Oh man. We were talking about compressing time.
Oh yes. I was talking about ticket prices. So
Ticket prices.
the platinum tickets were, I don't know, $8.99 or $7.99 or something. Let's say it's $800. The other tickets were $400, probably $400.
Yeah, about
half or maybe $500, something like that. So for $400, there are people that they're not meeting the people that are making things happen in this circle. They're not listening to special speakers in the other room talk about things they didn't talk about in the other room. There's the phrase that I learned through Sumrock, and Blaine learned as well, is there's power in proximity. And proximity means you got to be in the room, man. If you want to see how the sausage is made, you got to be in the room. You know, in Hamilton, it was in the room where it happened, right? You got to be in the room where it happened. And if you're not there, then you have no idea what's going on. So include yourself, but to do that, you got to invest in yourself, man. $400 could have put you in front of Robert Kiyosaki, and had a conversation in front of other people that didn't get to hear that. And so to me, I'm just thinking, I know everybody wants to play small. I get it. Because you want to be conservative, right? That's our nature, to be conservative. But I'm going to use a cuss word here. Screw that. Fart that. Whatever. F word. Just, you know what? You have to invest in who you are, and you've got to step out and sometimes play in the big field, man. But invest in yourself. $400. Why would you miss out? We got a friend here that's with us, and he bought the cheap ticket. You know what I mean? You got to play big. Stop playing small. Baby. That was one of the things I got years ago from listening to Grant Cardone, is stop playing small.
Dude, and you taught me that in dentistry for years too.
And then either I forgot it or whatever, or I just wasn't living in my own word. But stop playing small, man. To move to the places you want to move to, if you're a goal setter and you're you want to take some souls, then you're going to have to step out, man. So for me, it was just a great iteration to listen to everybody saying, hey, stop playing small, get out there, meet people, take the chance, buy the ticket, step up and come into the game. You know what I mean? You can't win the lottery if you don't buy a damn ticket. So I think it's time that everybody listen to this, evaluate your situation, be real with it, and decide for yourselves. Hey, it's time to jump in the rabbit hole, not just kind of peek into it. Jump in it. Let's see what happens. So,
right on. Awesome. It's a good way. Good motivational thing there, Matt.
Yeah.
He's always good like that. Getting us cranked up and ready to freaking go. Today we got some more speakers. I think Tom Wheelwright, who's the tax accountant, is going to talk today. I can't remember who the other guys are. I don't think I knew the other two guys they mentioned.
I don't know.
But we'll see.
I probably weren't paying attention.
I'm sure they're pretty good because they always are.
Yeah. So we're excited for day 2. We'll deliver a couple. We'll show you some video clips throughout the day here.
We got some video. We're not sure. We're getting video clips all day, trying to interview some people and ask some questions. We can track them down. So that'll definitely be on the YouTube channel. And we'll see. Some of those are just more visual, so they might not, we'll podcast them, but they'll just be on the YouTube channel.
Just sing a